What up, y'all? What up, y'all? We gonna get right to it since I'm running late. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Is Hughley and Rickey Smiley working for them hoes? When I say working for them hoes, I mean working for them hoes that don't like the rest of us, the people, the oligarchs, the people that are here to control the temperament of society. That's what I mean by are they working for them hoes? Them hoe ass niggas, the ones that don't want Americans to be free. Are they working for them hoes? That's the question. And I don't want anybody to get mad at me. If you're part of a frat, hold on. My mic is fucked up. I can look at it right now. My computer reset that thing. Hold on, let me change my mic. There we go. We got my mic now. I saw this shit right here. I'm like, hold on. But you know how it is when the power go out. The power went out last night and reset all my shit. Okay, good. We got regular audio now. We got my mic. Back to what we talking about. Is D.L. Hughley, Rickey Smiley, and everybody that's on these radio stations, not everybody, but most of these cats, are they working for them hoes? I do not want to disrespect anybody in a frat. If you're in a frat, that's cool. Everybody in frats are not bad. Everybody in frats are not down with the bullshit. There are people that do extraordinarily amazing things with their frats and their secret society organizations. I'm not against none of it. I'm down with frats. I'm down with Masons. I'm down with Skull and Bones. I don't give a shit. Do you. I don't give a fuck. So this isn't personal to anybody that's in a frat or specifically Omega Psi Phi. But it is calling out Omega Psi Phi as a frat because I see a consistency. I see people who are down with a power structure. And when I say down, I don't mean just down, I vote for these people. I ain't talking about y'all. I'm talking about will make themselves look like motherfucking fools for a particular party system. And the reason why I'm calling out Omega Psi Phi is because, as Steve Harvey and Rickey Smiley both said, black radio is run by Omega Psi Phi frat. You want the list of a few? Steve Harvey, Omega Psi Phi. Rickey Smiley, Omega Psi Phi. Tom Joyner, Omega Psi Phi. I think Roland Martin is like something. I think he's a Kappa. Y'all see the consistency? Y'all see the consistency? These are the biggest names in radio, in black radio. And what do they do best? Mislead black people. The Tom Joyner days, instead of our biggest issues being in the 2000s, the housing market going up the way it did disenfranchising us. Instead of Tom Joyner putting that on the docket, instead of putting on the docket declining enrollment in colleges from black men, instead of putting on the docket declining labor force hiring for black men, instead of putting these things on the docket, instead of talking about, what's the workplace harassment that our black women go through in these mostly white corporate environments, what we talked about was what Tom Joyner had us talking about was a whole bunch of bullshit. Steve Harvey too. It was, do you put sugar on your grits? You know what I mean? How acceptable of a Negro are you? Kind of questions. Never the things that the people needed reflected back among them. So now that Tom Joyner's gone, he's being replaced by, and Steve Harvey's OG now in radio. And I ain't got no issues with Steve Harvey. I don't have no issues with nobody that I'm talking about on here personally. Even though a few years ago, D.L. Hughley did get me kicked off Twitter for, only time I ever been kicked off Twitter was because of D.L. Hughley, because he couldn't take a joke after he started it. But it's gone from Tom Joyner was smooth with it. Steve Harvey's pretty smooth with it. Now you got just flat out fear-mongering Negroes saying a whole bunch of bullshit we don't need to hear. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to join y'all in the chat and talk with y'all. But we about to play a couple videos that I'm talking about. One video is for 3 minutes long by D.L. Hughley. And then I'm going to play the Rickey Smiley video. And then we got to get back and we got to come and talk about this, okay? We got to talk about this. So let's go to this video from D.L. Hughley. This is from like 2 weeks ago. DL went, this nigga DL went smooth off on a whole ass rant. I want y'all to hear this bullshit, and then we'll get to Rickey Smiley.
Yes, you do, you coward. Name me one person, one competent person on this cabinet that can help him. One. The same time.
DL, is there anything that Donald Trump could do that you would give him credit for?
Yes, he could have went to jail for starting a riot.
Okay, there's the answer. The things that you are saying, with all due respect, they are absolute nonsense. He torpedoed a deal with Iran because he doesn't like Barack Obama. Do you listen to this? Do you hear what you're saying?
He destroyed. Oh, stop it! Stop it! The man, he wouldn't do that. The man who's renaming federal.
Wait, give me the proof. Give me the proof. Let's talk in facts. Let's talk in facts. Let's talk in facts.
Why didn't he torpedo the deal? Why was the deal
it's a crap deal. It's a crap deal, Dio.
What was crap about it, Mike?
No.
Barack Obama has said
there's not. So a better deal is the one he's doing now.
Yes, they negotiated for 60 days. He said take a deal. They didn't.
Oh shit, my bad.
Take the deal. Now it seems like we are on the verge of peace, except the only difference is now their nuclear program is decimated. Come on.
That man torpedoed that deal precisely because he didn't like Barack Obama.
I want y'all to notice. First off, just look at how emotionally charged DL is. That's not cool, player. You're supposed to be a radio host. You got to be able to control your emotions. And he's lying. Trump did not sign that deal. It had nothing to do with Obama. That's just something that the Democrats kept making up to make themselves feel better whenever Trump did something or didn't do something. And again, this comes from me who's not even a Trump fan. Fuck Donald Trump. But we got this whole shadow game called politics, and I get you work for mainstream radio. Part of your job is to keep the bullshit going. But when you lose and you starting to talk like this, he about to lose his voice. over a big ass lie. And this is supposed to be the face of black people, the sensible black people. Celebrities are used, especially in black society, celebrities are used to be the face of what we have going on. And on one hand, he lying to us. On the other hand, he making us look like fools to everybody else. Let's keep going.
Every president we have had, DL, has said that they cannot have nuclear weapons, including Barack Obama.
You're a mediocre coward who is a bullshit president, and all of you people enable him. That's all he does is break.
Okay, but I don't know. This hurts your side. It hurts your side, DL, because when something legitimately good happens for the world, you can't admit it. You cannot admit it.
Do you think No, I despise him, but if he did something
right, no kidding, you despise him. It's we hear it. I know you do. Everyone hears you.
I despise him as much as he despises black people. I despise him as much as
see, there you go. There you go. You despise. Don't throw us out there, nigga. You don't, D.L. Hughley, you don't do shit for black people. When black Americans had reparations on the table, you didn't mention reparations one motherfucking time. So stop it. Stop the cap. Stop it. Yeah, you don't like black people. Nigga, you sound like the Macho Man Randy Savage. Stop it. Leave us the fuck out of this. Get your Radio 1 money, get your Omega Psi Phi approval, pat on the head, whatever. But leave us the fuck out of this. See, now society goes back. See, those black people, look at them. Now you fanning the fame to them motherfucking racists who you ain't gonna say nothing about when they do something. Unless your paymasters tell you to. But this is the problem I have.
I despise him as much as he despises black people. I despise him as much as he despises us.
It's more nonsense.
By the way, Mike.
Let me ask you something. Why rename bases after Confederate generals? Why do it? Why break?
Real quick, Rashawn Green says, I want to address his comment. He says, a lot of our folks still be talking this way. You're right, Rashawn. A part of the reason is most people don't think for themselves, whether good, bad, or indifferent. Most people are going to reflect what's in the sphere, what's in the air, what's being talked about the loudest. Most people are just going to repeat that. They're not going to sit back and say, hold on, let me sit back and deeply analyze what I just heard. So when you constantly hear this, you're hearing it from D.L. Hughley in the morning show. You're hearing it from Essence Fest. You're hearing it from MSNBC at night. You're hearing it from these Negroes that got mainstream TV deals. You hear this shit, you're gonna repeat the bullshit. But you're right though. But that's why that's the purpose of this channel, is to call things out and question things. Is what we're hearing every day, is that what we think? Or is that something being fed to us by people who are attached to much larger entities? Gotta ask that question.
Black history. Why?
Good question. Good question, Mike.
Why do it? You know why? Because he's
let him answer, DL.
And you let him do it.
Talking about some damn Confederate statues. I don't give a fuck about no goddamn Confederate statue being military base. Fuck all that.
Wait.
If you're gonna ask him, you have to let him answer.
Why does he do it?
Give me the question once more, I'm sorry.
Why does he rename
I have no idea.
Yes, you do, you coward. He's a racist. That's why he does it.
Look, DL, let me tell you, it is such a sign of weakness that you cannot control your emotions. You are out here, you are attacking me personally.
Okay,
it's a sign of weakness, DL.
We're in overtime. We are...
DL, somebody your age.
When you call somebody a effing coward because they believe differently than you lost the argument. Even if your point is valid. Even if your point is valid, when you get into calling people cowards because they don't agree with you over something, you lost, homie. And then a couple of days ago, this is what I was going to talk about yesterday. We'll end up talking about the ICE immigration stuff instead. Listen to what Rickey Smiley had to say. Then we're going to really sit down and break all this shit down. I'm going to go back and replay some of these videos.
I'm not trying to scare nobody.
Why this nigga always let's off. Why this nigga always talking about somebody trying to scare nobody? Why is Rickey Smiley always scared? God damn. Nigga, shit. Why these mainstream niggas always scared? I don't want to scare nobody. Nigga, you talking about some bullshit politics. You can't scare me about some game I can't control. Where that book at? Here it is. Where that book at? These are kind of black people I'm used to right here. This is a book. Rickey Smiley, please read this book. It's called We Will Shoot Back. It's talking about the reason why the civil rights, nonviolent civil rights marches were successful was because you had hundreds of militia in rural Mississippi and in some of the mid-sized cities that were willing to shoot back. They weren't scared. Amzie Moore made sure to have a protection around Dr. King, so he got beat that one time in Mississippi in 1955, and it never happened again. Why? Because black people weren't scared. These niggas always scared. God damn. But let's go.
I'm not trying to scare nobody. But we are in danger. If you haven't been watching the news and checking out everything that's going on, we're in a lot of danger right now. Because the Constitution, the United States Constitution, as we know it, they about to cut all through that. And we are accustomed to having rights. All of your rights, all of our rights is at risk right now. That whole "Make America Great Again."
Hey, Rocky, look at how scared this nigga is.
And the way he is going, and the way things are going. And when they say great again, that means your ass don't have no rights.
What's up, Rocky?
If you go and watch Joy Reid videos, if you get an opportunity to watch Joy Reid videos,
would you watch a Joy Reid video, Rocky?
You'll learn a lot. Especially
would you watch a Joy Reid video for information? Rocky said, hell nah.
Oh, we're gonna wait till the midterm election comes. Ain't gonna be no midterm election. You better look into getting a dual citizenship somewhere.
You're running scared ass.
Because things about to get ugly. Things about to get really ugly. Yep. And I'm scared.
Oh shit.
Scared.
Get your scared ass on. Get your scared ass over to another
we might
country.
Have to pack up our families and leave, because if ICE can get
here we go with
immigrants or whatever, and just go and get them, and without their due process in court, why can't they do it to everybody else? Now they're doing it to Haitians. And who do you think is next? And they don't give a damn if you're a Democrat or a Republican. They don't care. Nah. They don't.
Nigga, come on, Rocky. I gotta sit you down for this bullshit. I gotta sit you down, Rocky. Nigga, if you scared, go to church. Rest in peace, Mama Burks from the Mississippi Mass Choir. If you scared, go to church. All that preaching you do, Rickey Smiley, about Jesus this and Jesus that, nigga, if you scared, didn't the word of God say thou shalt not have a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind, nigga? I hate when niggas can preach all goddamn day about the need to get with Jesus, about the need to go to church, and how you need your spirit filled, but then when it's time to do something, you scared. That's one of the main reasons why I stopped going to church. I remember when 9/11 happened. I remember I went to church that same day. 9/11 happened on a Tuesday.
Recording in progress.
And my church had a
recording stopped.
My church had a 9/11 like midday service. It was already Tuesday, so we had like a Tuesday service. And I remember it was a Tuesday midday service. And I remember looking around. I went with my mom. And I remember seeing how scared people were. I remember seeing how scared I was, 9/11. But I also remember asking myself, like, well, the Bible do talk about not having fear. So I think the message should be on that, and we should get here on Sunday and we shouldn't have no fear. But everybody was goddamn scared. Then I remember the bookend to that was COVID. I had been long removed from church when COVID hit. When COVID hit, I was long gone from church. But I remember the Rickey Smileys of the world, the Omega Psi Phi radio host of the world. D.L. Hughley talked shit about it at first, and then he became a major champion for it. All this stuff was the churches. Everybody, oh no, the virus. Well, ain't that what you in church for? On one hand, you do all this, preaching that. What God done for you this, what God done for you that. And you scared of Donald Trump? See, that's why I got my guest coming on in 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute, guest. I got a special guest coming on, but I gotta start this word of God. Cause I got a real man of God coming on to the show. And he abides by this doctrine. The doctrine of Dewan. Don't be a hoe. 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 You can't come to me preaching all the damn time about this and that, Rickey Smiley, about how much God done for you, but you want to act like a scared hoe when it's Donald Trump gonna deport all of us. Misleading black people. He doing good in the hell well, he can't deport us. But because you work, I don't know for whatever reason, I'm not gonna speculate as to why you do what you do. We just see people that have jobs similar to yours, that are associated with to a similar fraternity as yours, saying all the same similar bullshit. But when things ain't going on like that, y'all don't say nothing to help us. Y'all mention nothing in reparations, which before I bring my guest on, there is a reparations event coming up here in LA. Reparations retreat, actually, where we're going to have Sister Camila Moore. She's been at the front of the reparations fight here in California. She's the lawyer that's in charge, and she's a beautiful bounty of knowledge when it comes to this. Beautiful spirit, beautiful soul. And we're going to have actually a reparations wellness retreat to where you can get your reparations information on, and then we're going to have a sound bath afterwards to Because, yeah, we going through the BS, but we cannot be like D.L. Hughley. We cannot be like Rickey Smiley. We can't be a bunch of scared niggas. Let's get the information that we can do something with, then relax ourselves, and then when it comes time to doing, we get to doing. That's what we preach over here at this channel. Not a whole bunch of I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Well, I got a guest up on right now that ain't never scared. Somebody that can give these people courage lessons. None other than Dr. Randy Short. What up, Dr. Randy Short?
Well, White Jesus loves you. In fact, can you see my White Jesus squeeze toy? I mean, this is my rock, my sword and shield, my wheel in the middle of a wheel. Okay, and he's helping me. You know, I might be a nigga, but I'm going to eventually become a black man, or at least be a good slave. How you doing?
How you doing? So, Dr. Short, I brought you on for a
sir.
specific reason. I want you to say whatever you have to say. We on YouTube now, so we got to watch it. But I want to. I was talking about this whole Omega Psi Phi connection. Well, actually, before we get to Omega Psi Phi, first I want to know your thoughts on, because you're a real man of God, on these scared Negroes. Let's first talk about these niggas that try to scare us into doing shit voting wise. How long have you been seeing this, and what's your historical perspective on these type of Negroes, and what do you think about these Negroes that still exist? And then we'll get to the part about the frat.
Well, I'm going to hold up this book here. It's been out for a while by Dr. Carol Anderson, one of the greatest Black women thinkers or writers, academicians. She's at Emory University. This book is called Eyes Off the Prize, and it's called The United Nations and the African American Struggle for Human Rights, 1944 to 1955. And this takes you back exactly 80 years in Black history, where a handful of Black folks had an opportunity to put white folks over the barrel for reparations and human rights, and they blew it because they settled for crumbs because they were scared. You had a group of people that were left-leaning, William Patterson, W.B. Du Bois, Paul Robeson, and others, and my dear friend, Jewel Mazik, Malcolm X's mentor, that woman mentor that nobody really knows about. Yeah, Malcolm X was mentored by a Black woman. Malcolm X was like that. Malcolm X listened and cherished Black women like Gloria Richardson and Jewel Mazik. A lot of what you see in Malcolm X's fearlessness was because he was dealing with fearless Black women like his older sister, Ella Collins. There were Black folks that weren't afraid. In the 1940s, that were charged the United States government with genocide at the UN, as the UN was being formed. And the scared Negroes, some of them Omegas, even back then, sold out the Black community for crumbs. In fact, the whole civil rights movement was a scam. It was staged. It was BS. It was a fraud. And it meant that the top 10% of Black folks would get some crumbs and the rest of us would be left in the dust. And it's still more or less the same today. Now, segueing back to now, right? We could get anything we wanted to if we just stood up. Can I say to my mentor, peace be upon him, Dr. Yusuf Clive, who was mentored by Malcolm X, who was head of the Organization of African American Unity in Canada. In 1989, if I can take this back to your city of Los Angeles, a handful of Black people at the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland, raised hell over the Rodney King beating to the international community. And the United States was being held over the barrel. This is how the Chinese, who manufacture everything in this country now, the Chinese got most favored nations trading status because they were threatening to talk about Black folk getting beaten. Rodney King, one Black man's ass getting beaten, was enough to get Cuba, China, and other countries to consider having a referendum on how poorly Black Americans were treated.
I remember that, baby. I remember that.
I'm saying my friend set it up. My mentor, the
Oh, that's
organization I'm
crazy.
in.
I remember hearing about that. I know that's your friend.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Okay. So no, the world is small.
Yeah.
I'm a little teeny person because of my age, but all of my friends, in their 80s and 90s. I'm sort of like the little kid that you got dragged along. I can remember going to anti-Vietnam War protesters 3 and 4, seeing Bobby Seale and people 3 or 4. I got taken and stuff. Everybody thought I was radical. And also because they also thought I was retarded because I couldn't talk. So they figured they could take me, I wouldn't say anything. So Black folks, one Black person getting beaten, and a strategic group of Black folks that didn't want to kiss butt and bow down were able to get the Chinese to threaten the United States over how Blacks were treated. The Chinese got most favored nation trading status in order to be silent about how Black Americans were being treated. One beaten Black man. Since 1989, the police have killed thousands of Black people. 4,000 or 5,000 Black folks are killed and jailed every year, or at least several thousand. It's in the thousands annually. And so, nobody even has to die. We don't have to have any more, George Floyd, whatever the hell, the little druggie that choked out in Minnesota. We don't have to have those if just a handful of people stand up in the international community, because America needs to do trade and everything else. Folks will buckle. So if Rodney King's beating put the United States over, how the hell do you think that they could talk about deporting 50 million of us?
Right.
Really? It's more than that. We're more like 70 million people in this country. How are you going to do that? Will the United States exist if they put us out? Understand they let all these 19 million illegals come in this country to keep the economy from crashing. You mean you're going to put us out too? You won't have a damn America without Black Americans. In fact, Abraham Lincoln recognized that, and everybody else. That's why they didn't let people go.
Yeah.
When the people in Tanzania in the 1960s welcomed Black Americans to come to Africa, the United States government threatened them with the coup. We're the most valuable property in this country. And we're even more valuable because of our skin color, because Africa's the future center of the world's economic booms. And because we are brown and we're going to be a chess piece. They actually had this discussion 80 years ago. There's a book in the Library of Congress in the African and Arab or Asian reading room where they talk about the significance of Black Americans to the world. This is in 1944. And it's not just the U.S. It's the French Empire and the British Empire were the most important group of Black people anywhere in the world, not even your scamish Nigerians are as important as we are. If they started kicking us out, what would the criterion be? And let me add something. If you apply the one-drop rule to who Black people are as a person that does DNA testing, I have thousands of white relatives that are 30 and 40 and 20% Black passing themselves off as white people. You won't have an America. Rickey Smiley and them are liars. And let me just say something bad about Rickey Smiley. I was looking at his video the other day, and he had weird stuff in his skin. I used to see people who had patchy skin stuff. Maybe it's psoriasis, maybe it's something. But I also remember when people were taking AIDS drugs, they had the same splotchy skin. Rickey Smiley, Mr. Dress Wearer, you got enough money to put some makeup on. There's something wrong with your skin. And if you can't manage what's wrong with your skin, why not? And you are down in Atlanta. Okay, and I'm going to say a whole bunch of Qs are down low, switch hitting hypocrites. And yes, they are. I mean, a whole bunch of them swing both ways. You feign all this macho ghetto manhood, and y'all suck dicks and do a bunch of other things. Yeah, I said it like that, and that's all I saw at Howard, and I stand by it. And a lot of folks on certain lines have a ritual. You can't even become one. And part of the question is, can you suck a dick? Why would you ask someone that after you beat and kicked and made them kiss your shoes? Why would you tell a person that's let you treat them any old kind of way, and then at the end of going through all of that, you ask them if they could suck a dick? Probably because you know they're going to do it. You took all that abuse, may as well suck the dick, just get it over with, cross the burning sand, or maybe it's burning cum, right?
Yeah.
So I don't respect them. There are a bunch of them. It's a whole gaggle of these fake people in these Black Greek letter organizations who have been enemies of Black people. I need to remind everybody that the Omega Psi Phi fraternity, members of it, were the ones in charge of the Tuskegee experiment, because they were working with the United States Public Health Office. And the same Greeks work with the Center for Disease Control and Prevention to promote these jabs. And we got people sick everywhere. Nobody wanted to. Our community has had no discussion. You got Robert Kennedy Jr. raising significant issues about what happened with COVID. And notice the total silence in our community. Not even were there side effects that anyone, do you know, because there's such a stranglehold of these degenerate, butthole licking frauds who don't let they, in service of white supremacy and Black degeneracy, they've stifled and boggled and bamboozled the minds of our people, and they're part of our genocide. And I say it to anybody in it to their face, whether you want to beat me up or not, because they're, basically degenerate people. Most of you can't be. You can't go to a Pride Day event and not be complicit in what happens in Pride Day or Pride Month. You can't be in an organization that enshrines degeneracy, debauchery, drunkenness, and hedonism and not be one too. And that's the whole Greek thing. All of y'all are bad. Period. Quit. Now, we could deal with this. They can't kick us out. If they want to kill us off, we're helping them with abortion. We're helping them with shooting each other in Philly and other places, folk getting shot. But do you really think with the tenseness in the international world, with the BRICS nations and with Iran and China and Russia, do you really think that they could kick Black people out and the dollar have any value, people? Do you really think that people would want all the brands of shoes and things that have Black people's faces and such on it that's marketed worldwide? Do you realize what that would do to the main things that America exports? That this country is the world's biggest human rights violator, which what that deportation would mean? Come on. They're liars. And they do this stuff through radio. They will never have a public meeting. None of these people ever come before the Black community and speak because they get cussed out, run out, hit with bricks and bottles. Thank God for bricks and bottles and Molotov cocktails, maybe, if they came and tried to sell this. So they, in service of white supremacy, get to have a sellout Negro monologue, a lying Hitler-like monologue of telling us what they've been paid to say. And Roland Martin, who's Alpha Phi Alpha, all of them. Steve Harvey, he's of Omega, didn't even finish school. All of these people.
Look, Rickey Smiley, Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley. I don't even think that nigga graduated high school initially. These people became honorable. They didn't even get the degree.
He looks like an iguana with a hat on, okay? And he's got weird-looking skin, too. How you guys living? I would love to see them get some STD tests. Man, I would put that all over. I'm curious. Y'all live hell. You guys are not. You don't speak up. There's not one issue, not one single solitary issue that's important to Black people. Black farmers, food deserts, housing, black veterans, human trafficking, missing black women, right? Homelessness, gentrification. They don't say a damn thing.
We got a long list to talk about too.
And they have not. They're being paid by the Democratic Party. This is a midterm elections thing. You know what? Trump's people are sloppy. They are. They are. And you know what? DEI didn't go to us anyway. Half the stuff they're attacking, they made us think we're getting a part of it. You know what? All of these programs that they talk about, like DEI, it's like the stripper that gives you a lap dance, but you don't get any pussy. We've been getting lap dance, but we haven't gotten any effing going on yet. We're not even effing. And God forbid love making. I am for any program that is specifically for us, that's just for freedmen, FBA, descendants of African and Aboriginal. I want us to get stuff just for us, like the Hawaiians and the Indians get. But anything that's, whosoever will, whether that's a bathhouse or some degenerate church with a good gospel choir, chorale, I'm not for any of that. So these guys are liars. And a lot of them are Caribbean. Carl Nelson is Jamaican. He's on Radio 1. All of these people, Jesse Jackson used to be on the radio. He's Omega. And for that matter, Farrakhan, he's Omega. All
He became an honorary member, yeah.
Yeah, but Farrakhan is, he's in his 90s, so I'm not going to ride Minister Farrakhan. I'm just saying, but and if they do talk about it, at least Farrakhan will talk, where's the program outside of your specific group or your nation of Islam per se? What about black people as a totality, as a nation within a nation? What is your damn program? And the answer is they don't have one, and they don't want to have one. And that means that people hustle. They see black folks as a dying carcass, and they're the vulture that's going to get their bite in. The Omegas, I'm sorry, and I don't like the whole thing. These people stand in the way of our people's freedom. And, they're all up in Congress, too. You want to see, the black church that's bankrupt, like the dude with the question mark penis, Jamal Bryant. He's Kappa Alpha Psi. All of these people in one of these debaucherous groups, they refuse to really go deep. You know how you can get in a fight with a woman, it's not putting your thing all the way in, just play around there, you can get in a fist fight. These people have been, cock teasing us around what they're going to really do. We don't have any leadership. We're in a position of being erased, replaced, and wiped out on their watch, and they don't care.
You real
and
talk.
A bunch of them are over in Ghana making enemies for us. They make stuff so expensive the Africans don't want them. They're buying houses and such. There are a lot of black folks who've already moved out. They're in Brazil. They're living good. Make you think they're for you. And there's nothing wrong with moving abroad, being an expat. But the point is, they ain't fighting here. Their asses are running too. We talk about tethers running. Well, we got some coons running.
Hey, did you see Rickey Smiley's talking about, I might have to get dual citizenship. I'm like, well, this is my thing. If you feel like you gotta go,
you know what
did Robin Harris say? Gotta go. If you gotta go, you gotta go.
Look,
but stop all that trying to get me to go with you.
He better not wear a dress as a dual citizen. He'll get himself beaten to death. You may need to keep your metrosexual ass here, where you don't have to do anything for your people other than get over on them and have folks cry over your tragedies in your family when your people are dying. And again, why does your complexion remind me of people I used to see when they had AIDS? Yeah, I said it. What's wrong with your skin, brother? And a whole bunch of them, I'm going to just say, when you start seeing people's hair fall out, let me take my hat off because I'm sissy. I got plenty of hair. The shit may be white, but we all want to be white anyway. My hair ain't falling out, okay? You'll start seeing these dudes, their hair is thinning and shit. It's because they're taking these drugs for the diseases and shit that they've caught that makes their hair fall out. That's how I can sometimes tell how people live, and you can look at their scalp. I mean, you'll find some famous people. Their head look like a glazed meatball, and she said, "Damn, a famous people, why can't it look so screwed up?" And and the skin's so bad they can't put implants in. That's because the drugs that they took, those retrovirals and stuff. Oh yes,
and for
some of
those
the
out there,
STDs,
this
it messes up their hair follicles.
this is hold on, this is Dr. Short cracking jokes. We don't know none of this for certain. Let's cracking jokes. No, I'm just doing a disclaimer. Look, I'm just doing a disclaimer for my channel. This ain't your channel, all right? But go what you gotta do. I'm doing my disclaimer. But say what you got. I'm cool. Keep cracking the jokes. I don't care. I'm just putting the disclaimer out there.
No, I'm not mad at you, brother. You got to do that. But yeah, for the Greek folks, niggas turn to God. Y'all claim that great spirit that y'all have, it's the devil. We can tell by the fruit. It says we're not given a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and sound mind. And Ricky, you don't have it. No dude with the sound mind is wearing women's clothes in the metro Atlanta area. Okay, yeah, I said it.
Dr. Short. Dr. Short. Mm-hmm. I want to get on. I got more I want to talk about. I'm gonna get you on. But close it out. I know you got something. You have something coming up with Jaguar, right? In a couple weeks. Let them know about that, then close it on out for the people. Then we're gonna get going.
Well, Jaguar right now is going to be doing a show, a Zoom call, and she's going to be breaking the silence on this, as I call, Freak Off Nation. As you know, Shitty had like 5 charges, and I think they only did 2. They didn't see any coercion. All the butt he beat. If that's not coercion, like throwing a Molotov cocktail or possibly abusing somebody's dog and breaking in their house, that's not coercion. I don't know what is. So Jag and I are going to be talking. It will be on the 20th of this month. If you want more information or details, you can always email me at wrandyshort@gmail.com. I will happily send you the announcement, or you can find me in Twitter. I'm under DRS1CBUSTER. It's Dr. Randy Short 1 C Buster or Coon Buster, but I can't put that on Twitter because little boule Negroes got tired of being called coons. You know how? Yeah, I'm afraid of everything. You're afraid of everything except STDs and black people getting genocided. They're not afraid of that. And so, yeah, but Jag, we're going to kick it, and we'll probably be doing other things. And there's a whole lot. We need to ask, why did Diddy practically almost get a slap on the penis? And right behind
I don't want to get too much into Diddy right now, but I know y'all going to cover that.
But Epstein. Look at how the Epstein, all of a sudden there's no list. All this stuff is happening. It's all linked.
So for those of you out there, y'all want to know more about that? Because I'm avoiding that topic on this channel right now for the algorithm. But if y'all want to know more about that, please tune in. Follow Dr. Randy Short. He will tell you where you can find that video link, all right?
And Brother Dewan, let everybody know you can find me on the Angry Black Men's Book Club on YouTube. Angry Black Men's Book Club. We'll be putting some stuff out there soon. And I have one more thing to say. I'm going to be launching pretty soon with some sisters because, we got to help our sisters. I have this whole project, and it's called Benefi, and it stands for A Bitch in Need is a Friend Indeed. I know some righteous sisters that need some help. So we'll be doing my grassroots fundraisers. And Brother Dewan.
And can you repeat your Twitter one more time?
My Twitter is DRS1 CBUSTER. DRS1, it stands for Dr. Randy Short 1 Coon Buster, but it's C Buster. There's a sister you got to meet, Big Mama.
Let's talk about that offline because I want to get back to my topic.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay. So White Jesus to y'all. Can I give y'all one White Jesus joke?
Go ahead, real quick.
Okay. White Jesus told me this joke, and his joke was, what do black people have in common with toilet bowls?
What?
They need chains to work. I
This
see you.
nigga brought up by white Jesus. That should be funny as hell. That was Dr. Reddy Short. Y'all know his white Jesus is him being, that's his level of sarcasm. For you literal ass niggas, he's imitating people who likes the white Jesus character. But that was Dr. Randy Short breaking down his point of view. The thoughts and opinions of the guests don't always reflect the host, but I also value Dr. Short's opinions. Even when he goes a little off the rails, we got to make sure we bring him back here, you know what I mean? But you can look up all of what he's saying, and you'll find that you can get much deeper information if you look up the things that he talks about. If anything he said sounds off to you or awkward, I encourage you to go back and replay and then look it up yourself, okay? And you will find that a lot of what he says be on point. Just like we have this Relaxing Reparations event coming up in a couple weeks here in LA. I love this idea. I love this idea with Danae Wright, Camila Moore. I love this idea. The link is in the description, okay? But let's get back into the frat boys of misinformation. Let's get back into these frat boys of misinformation. So I want to go back into what what's his name was talking about, Rickey Smiley, because it's a lot of scared talk. It's a lot of goddamn scared talk that make us all look like shit. And I would open my phone line, but today, as of today, my phone line number expired. So I don't have a new phone line for y'all to call in yet. I got to take the time and look for a different service to get a phone line. I just been busy writing a fucking book. So I don't have the time. I haven't had the time to look up new numbers. I'm looking up like, oh shit, my phone line expired today. So I'll get a new phone line for y'all sometime this week. And for those of you who are in my music history course, you're also going to get your course materials this week also. I'm a little late on giving you your course materials, but you'll get those this week before the next class, next Sunday. But going back into this bullshit, let's keep playing what Rickey Smiley had to say, and then we're going to go back to another video that D.L. Hughley talked about, and we're going to continue to break down all this scared Negro talk.
I don't care. Get ready. These white supremacy concentration camps, they're all over the country. They're stocking up on weapons.
Did this nigga just say white supremacy concentration camps? The ghetto is a white supremacy concentration camp. That's a socially engineered concentration camp. That's what the ghetto is. Whether it be South Dallas, South Central LA, Harlem, South Miami back in the day, 3rd Ward, Houston. The ghetto we already in that, nigga. Catch up. There's no coincidence as to why Compton was not a ghetto in 1960. Watts was not a ghetto in 1960. But by 1980, they become ghettos. That doesn't happen through happenstance, nigga. That's a social engineering concentration camp. We already there. This is what we talking about. These are the people that they get to speak to us. When it's an agenda that the Democrats don't want, everything is funny, ha ha, he. Ain't dealt with the IEP system that's affecting our black boys. All these black children in special education with IEPs living and going to these non-public schools and these schools and what these charter schools are now doing to our kids. See, these charter schools ain't held to the same standards as public schools, and they worse than the public schools work. It don't be no talk. And if you don't know anything about that, they could have, when Dr. Frances Cress Welsing was alive, she could have been on Steve Harvey's show to talk about this kind of stuff. She could have been on Tom Joyner. Hell, you don't like Dr. Umar? Dr. Umar, you know, we talk about on this channel. He's a funny guy. But what Dr. Umar says about the special education system is right. Why not have Umar? Don't let him talk about the other shit, but have Umar. If you scared him, talk about some other stuff. Fine, have him on to talk about what's going on with our black boys in school. Dr. Joy DeGruy, you never had her on. She's clean, and the post-traumatic slave syndrome that she talks about in her book. When have you had Dr. Joy DeGruy on? When have you had Dr. James Smalls on? When have you had Dr. Claude Anderson on? Like, dude, Dr. Claude Anderson's still alive. He told us in 1993 that this social safety net would be gone by 2015. Now, okay, he was off by 10 years, but he was still right. What are you doing to fix the concentration camps we in now? Other than go to church, then be scared.
And everything, as if they are preparing for a war. While we out here popping fans and boots on the ground. They got real boots on the ground. Because...
Look at them. Church niggas on that. Why we popping fans? Yeah, we should. If you learn how to pop your fan, just don't do too much around me, because that sound is fucking annoying. But keep popping them fans. We've been trying to get. We're not getting no instruction from people like you. The marching orders that you want to give us are going to lead us right back to hell. So I'd rather see sisters popping fans than listening to you.
I don't care what you file in court. The Trump administration defined federal judges' court orders and stuff. Because what's going to happen?
He just said the Trump administration defined federal judges' court. I want y'all to hear that again before I say something.
I don't care what you file in court. The Trump administration defined federal judges' court orders and stuff because
the Department of Justice, when a federal court makes a ruling, the court system handles that. Trump is using the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is making the decisions to change what some of the federal judges said. And not just the Supreme Court, other courts, higher district courts are the ones that are defining what lower courts are saying. This shit is all getting worked out in court. And none of this has to do with black people, Rickey Smiley. This is you talking around it, but you're talking about immigration. You're talking about these ICE orders. You're talking about the things that Trump is doing to people that ain't got nothing to do with black folks. And we cannot be detained. This is what I mean by misleadership. We don't need people lying to us. And this is why I'm passionate about this. Black people, we always being lied to, yo. And I'm tired of it. I be in these streets. D.L. Hughley runs a comedy show at the Ice House. I be at the Ice House. I be at these parties. I be at the BET parties. I be at the Grammy parties. I run across these niggas. And I'm still unafraid to say what I have to say. I'm in a lower position than these guys are on the totem pole. These guys that I'm speaking about, I'm in a similar industry, and these guys that these people that I'm speaking out about could change my life overnight with a deal, with an opportunity. But what the fuck I look like getting taken care of like a hoe? I ain't no motherfucking hoe. I make my own goddamn way. If this is about the bag for me, I'm literally going at the people in my industry that have a bag that I want. I want a bag too. But I don't want your bag. So I'm not saying this shit to just say this shit. I'm on the internet, but I've been a drummer I've been a professional. I don't play drums professionally anymore. But I started playing the drums professionally when I was what, 14, 15? I started doing stand-up comedy when I was 28. I still get opportunities. I was on an episode of The Neighborhood earlier this year on CBS. I'll be around. And these people can directly say no to opportunities for me. But it's not about that. It's about, I'm tired of black people being lied to. People who are giving us no proper understanding as to how this system works. I don't give a fuck if a nigga like this don't like me. I don't have any issues with him personally. I don't have issues with nobody personally. This is all about the content that's being put out. And I know I personally, maybe because I'm a Gemini, I know how to personally separate my feelings from information. Information is here. My feelings are there. What I like is here. What's the fact is there. It's two different things. What I like, what I feel, and what information is are two different things. How this court system works, how this country works, is independent of how anybody feels. You can look up how the shit works. And although the Democrat-leaning media lies and says Trump is ignoring the Constitution, he's not. Now, is he challenging the Constitution? Yeah. But guess what? If you study history, the Constitution is under challenge 24/7 by every president, by every Congress, by every Senate, by every Supreme Court justice, by every federal judge. The Constitution is always in question. Always. It's never not been. That's why we have amendments. That's why we have laws that are constantly being changed. That's why we have laws that are constantly being updated. So to act like Donald Trump is the only one challenging the Constitution is flat out bullshit. And you lying. Either you lying or you ignorant. Either way it go, get the fuck off the mic. If you ignorant, why the hell are you talking to people if you don't know? And if you lying, you just ain't shit. Either way it go, why are you talking? Educate yourself before you pick up a goddamn mic. Tired of the motherfuckers not educated. It's a burden when you speak to people, man. Even when you don't like something, you still got to tell people what it is, and let people be smart enough to make their decisions. People listening to me right now that maybe have some left leanings, and y'all gonna be like, yeah, what Dewan was saying was cool, but yeah, nah, I'm still over here. That's fine. That's fine. But at least think for yourself. Oh, I like what he said here, but I'm going to give people information and let them draw their own conclusions. What's you niggas so scared of trying to lie to people and herd people into a conclusion? That's the bullshit right there. When you try to sheep herd people into conclusions.
What's going to happen? They can't put him in jail. He has control of the military. What's going to happen if he defy a court order? He's the president, right? Okay. Okay. Page.
Oh, Lord.
Go listen to what Roland Martin has to say.
This nigga said, go to Joy Reid page, fraud. Roland Martin, fraud. What's up, Professor Bay? Mississippi and Moore's in the building. Salute. Go to Joy Reid. Roland Martin. You mean the same Roland Martin that was giving Hillary the questions before the debate? That Roland Martin that got caught? Instead of challenging this person that's possibly going to be president, you giving her the questions? Listen to that nigga? More don't need to be said about that. Let's keep going.
Say. And try to figure out if ICE come and snatch any of us up, what you gonna do? What rights do you have?
I got the rights of the Constitution, bitch, because I'm a citizen. What rights do I have? And then further, let's go further into the what rights do you. Okay, ICE comes against you. Okay, let's say, okay, look, let's back it up. Let's play devil's advocate. He asks, what rights do you have? If we go down his line of thought, ICE has the rights to not respect our rights. Okay. What makes that any different than the LAPD? What makes that any different than the New York Police Department or the sheriff in Virginia or the state troopers in New Jersey? What makes that any different than the FBI, the CIA? What makes that any different than the teacher at your children's school who violate black boys and black girls' rights all the time and dignity? What black people's rights have never been respected. That's why you got people like me out here. That's always, not just me, you got your people who always fight the African Diaspora Network. You got your Vicky Dillers. You got your, you know, even people who aren't directly political, but they talk about politics. Your Thought Crimes, your Black Alpha Network, Tariq. You got all of these, Judge Joe Brown, whether you like him or not. You got, these are all people out there who, whether you agree with them or not, they still fight for the direction of our people. And it's going to be things that they say that all of us are going to vehemently disagree with. There are things that we're going to say that we're going to agree with, that they're going to say. But one thing we can all agree with is these are people out there who I think have a better, even Umar, even though I don't agree with probably 2/3 of what Umar says, I still think that he cares about black people. I'll take a Dr. Umar over a Joy Reid any day, all day. Twice on Sunday. I ain't got no kids to go to that buck-ass school. So I'll listen to Umar before I listen to Joy Reid. At least he gonna say something that questions what I'm seeing. Even on our side of the thing, we don't all get along. We don't all, you got your Professor Black Truth, you know? Even Jason Black, he's good at breaking the news down. Even though he's a fucking weirdo. But he's good at breaking the news down. So you can't take that away. I listened to him 15 billion times before I listened to fucking Roland Martin. I've been listening to Roland Martin since I was 15. Roland Martin's had my attention since I was 15. And he ain't never said nothing I could do anything with. Roland Martin had my ears 20 years before I met any of these, not met, but heard of any of these YouTube personalities. I was at the Essence Fest when Roland Martin was on stage cutting the rug thinking, oh man, I like Roland Martin. Then you keep listening and be like, God damn, this nigga been talking for 20 years and ain't said shit. I don't trust Umar either, but it's not about trusting Umar. Look, black folks, it's not about trusting people. I trust myself. That's who I trust. I trust that I'm going to do what's right by me at any time I didn't do what's right. I trust myself. I don't put my trust in nobody I don't know. I trust my family. I trust myself. Outside of that, people can kiss my black ass. But information and trust are two different things. If you put out information, I don't have to trust your information. I can look up. You put it out there, like when I talk about music history, when I talk about political history, look it up. You ain't gotta trust me. You ain't gotta trust me. I say things in a way that you can go and find further information because it's not about me. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. I don't trust Umar as far as I can throw him. But I tell you one thing, when he talks about the special education system, look it up and see if that man ain't lying. When he talk about the mental side our black boys are going through, check that man's record. Check that man's record. I ain't gotta trust him to trust the information. Hell, I done met a lot of these people I met some of these people that y'all love online. Y'all wouldn't even, I wouldn't kick it with half these people. Not that they bad and I'm good. We just got completely different energies. People I used to love listening to online. You meet them in person and be like, nigga, I wouldn't spend no more than 2.5 seconds with you. Oh, nigga, you go over here, I go over there. We ain't even, our personalities don't even mix. So it's not about falling in love and trusting and this and that. It ain't about that. Just because our personalities wouldn't match, who the fuck to say I'm big dog head honcho? Maybe I'm the one that's fucked up. That's very possible. Maybe I'm the one that's fucked up. That's likely. I'm the one that's fucked up, not them. That's most likely. But it's about the message, not the messenger. I appreciate that, DSB. Yeah, I tried my best, man. Now, do I make mistakes? There are sometimes I misquoted where I've said left and I meant right. There are times that I said right and I meant left. I'm dyslexic like a motherfucker. So plenty of times I know probably every show there's going to come a point to where I'm going to say this but meant that. But what I said is still true. I probably gave you the wrong name or the wrong, because when you talk a lot, you're going to fuck up. That's just what it is. But as a people, when you have someone like a Rickey Smiley who has a microphone and he's saying, okay, ICE, what if ICE comes to get you? They can't. Where are they going? They can't. And let's just say, okay, they can. And let's just say they do. If they do it against the law, that would be no different than them violating Sandra Bland's right. Sandra Bland didn't get her 5th and 14th Amendment rights respected. Rekia Boyd didn't get her 5th Amendment right to due process respected. What about all the black folks up in Rikers Island right now who in there don't even have formal charges on them, but they locked away? Rikers Island has been a detention center for black people since the 1830s. Rikers Island was created to be a detention center for when they used to come around back in the day when you had free black people in the North. They would kidnap black folks, and they would kidnap some of them Indians up there, lock their asses up in Rikers Island, and then sell them off into slavery down south. It's no coincidence Rikers Island was built just around the time slavery was ending in the North. Just because slavery was ending in the North for economic reasons, not moral reasons, economic reasons, they couldn't goddamn house a slave 12 months a year when 4 of those months of the year is snow on the ground and the slave is no crops to grow. It became too expensive for the North. So that's why they got rid of it. So they let the South continue slavery, and they built these little prisons and detention centers in the North to get free black people and kidnap them and sell them off into slavery. But you don't educate your audience on this kind of stuff, Mr. Rickey Smiley. That's my point. These people, when it's not something that the Democrats want, they don't spend in the meantime, in between time, educating the black audience on this kind of stuff that we need to know. They don't bring on expert black educators. They don't bring on Dr. Claude Anderson. They don't bring on Dr. Joy DeGruy. They don't bring on these people that have expert knowledge in navigating around our situation and woompty wham and boomty bam, the woompty wham boomty bam. They don't fuck with people like that. They'll elevate Cardi B. They'll play a fucking Drake song 15 times an hour. They'll go around and say, ooh, look at Glorilla. She won a gospel album. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. You'll elevate these degenerates, this simple R&B that don't speak nothing to our soul, because we don't get soul music no more on the radio. You play all this soulless rhythmless blues. You don't bring on nobody that educates and brings information. You only bring on indoctrination and bullshit. And then when it gets like this, what we gonna do? You know what we gonna do? We gonna leave your scared ass in church while we get back on to doing what we gotta do to be the best we can be. So through sharpening our internal skills and what we do great, through being the best that we can be, following our vision, following our goals. And as you follow your vision, follow your goals, you become a leader in your household. You create business. That energy attracts other people doing the same thing in their expertise. I'm telling y'all right now, every time I got serious about doing something and sharpen my game, God sends somebody to me to help with the complimentary part. When I was ready to do a documentary, my man Hassan, who been there the whole time, was like, man, I got time. Let's go. My speaking skills and research skills, his technical filmmaking skills, partnership. Soon as I was ready. And that's a basic tenet of life. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the teacher is ready, the master will appear. And when you ready, whatever complementary skills you need to help what you got to get going is going to appear. I prepared myself on being a dope public speaker and teacher. I prepared myself for this for years, man. Since I was 18 in college, I've been preparing myself. So as a prepared individual, I met somebody, and most of my biggest business opportunities didn't come from pounding the pavement and calling a bunch of people. They came from being in the right place at the right time. So yeah, this whole summer, I'm doing an anti-racism training for one of the biggest unions in America. That's because I prepared myself. I wasn't fucking around. And that's the message to all of us as black people. Don't sit back and watch these people make all the fucking money. Prepare yourself. Get great at what you do. And as you get great at what you do, you will find like-minded people. Some of them going to be black, some of them going to be white, some of them going to be whatever. I work with any race. I work with anybody who understands the vision. Because sometimes the biggest push you're going to get forward is going to come from somebody, the place you least expected. But whoever you work with, make sure that you benefit in yourself and your people. I know plenty of brothers that got other folks behind the scenes. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, the message that they're putting out is helping us all grow. Can't be lying to people just because you got a fucking agenda. Fuck you and your agenda. And fuck whoever gave you that agenda. Because you didn't create it.
Even if you have rights, what's the consequence of somebody doing something to you with this administration? Think about it.
He said, what's the consequence of somebody doing something to you with this administration? Well, the same consequence in Biden administration. The same consequence with the Rutherford B. Hayes administration. Same consequences with the Teddy Roosevelt administration. George Washington, Reagan, Woodrow Wilson, Abraham Lincoln. Same shit. So why are you scared now? You did all that stomping for Kamala. It would have been the same goddamn consequences had Kamala been president. The fuck is you talking about? So y'all see these people who are put out there to mislead us, not being able to hold their emotions, and flat out lying to us. Straight up lying to us. I don't like it. It ain't cool. It is not cool. Fuck y'all doing? But we ain't immigrants. There's no more for us to worry about with this ICE thing as it is for any old day walking down the street with whatever local police department is in your city right now. Whether you live in Memphis or Houston or Tupelo, Mississippi, you don't have any more to worry about with ICE than you have your everyday worries as a black man. And we're dealing with Negroes that don't talk to the everyday condition of the black man and the black woman. But they want to do this and ridicule and wag their finger when it's something that they want. And if you want to move to Africa, move to Africa. I'm not one of the people that's going to sit around and say, hey, we not all African. Look, some of you niggas is African. Some of y'all really want to go back to Africa. Is something in your heart pulling you there? Go. Go. I don't see no issues with that. If you feel like you need to go to Africa, nigga, go. You feel like you need dual citizenship, get it. Stop running your mouth. I get tired of all the time every time you look up, you always got somebody saying what they gonna do. I'm gonna go to Africa. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go there. Go! Niggas been saying the same shit for 20, 30 goddamn years. And if Stevie Wonder blind ass and go get dual citizenship in Ghana, you can too. I respect Stevie for doing it. I respect WB Du Bois for doing it. I respect Brother James Smalls for being Pan-African. I respect Pan-Africans. I respect O'Shea Duke Jackson living in Uganda. If you gonna go. Everybody, I can't judge and assess for you what's in your heart and what's in your spirit. I don't know your particular lineage. I don't know your particular bloodline. I don't know what's in your thoughts in your brain. So if you got that thing inside of you, do it. But I know I'm from here. Me. And I know that no matter what the fuck goes on, I'm staying here in the USA. 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 My family was here before there was a USA. And then when this bitch crumble and fall and turns into something else, we gonna be here then too. I will go to Africa on vacation. I will goddamn watch the lions on the safari. I will go look at some motherfucking pyramids. I will go to goddamn Timbuktu if I need to. I'll drink some South African wine. I will go to Zimbabwe. Nigga, I will visit the Blue Nile. Nigga, I will do all that shit. And when I'm done going to Africa playing the Congo drums, when I'm done with that shit, guess what I'm doing? I'm coming right back to goddamn LA. Nigga, I will go on a Nile River cruise and then bring my ass right back to LA in time for the goddamn Playboy Jazz Festival. Think I'm playing. Just stop running your goddamn mouth to me. We need to go to Africa. Go in, nigga. The fuck you over here trying to convince me of? Nigga, I will go. I love Texas, nigga. When I look, I don't even got like I like leaving, and I bet I have a nice. My passport got stamps on it. It's cool. I like it, nigga. But I like the USA. I don't care. It's all kind of bullshit. And that's why we constantly fight against the bullshit. But I like me and my wife getting in the car and driving to Texas. I love to drive. I will hop in my car and drive to Houston like that. Drive to Dallas. I may fly into Louisiana and drive over to Florida so I can see this great nation. I might fly into Philadelphia and drive up to New York and then drive up to Boston because I love this shit. California, nigga, me and my wife, we planning on going to Sequoia pretty soon. I'm gonna go to Sequoia so I can see General Sherman, that big ass tree. Then I'm gonna go to Yosemite, go to Lake Tahoe. Shit, fuck out of here. We was just in wine country, nigga. Fuck out of here. You want to go back to Africa? Go. I'll be just as good going to Miami and kicking it on South Beach for a couple days and then going to New Orleans, not this bullshit ass Essence Fest y'all just had, and kicking it down there for a few days. Nigga, I will go to Chicago in the summertime before I move out of this country. The fuck you talking about? Yeah, he's selling wolf tickets. Wolf, 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 wolf. Ain't gonna do a motherfucking thing. And to all you Omega Psi Phis, I'm gonna need y'all to check and there's no issues. No, I ain't got an issue with the whole clan. Dr. Short's a little more extreme than I do. I think that these organizations do good too. I think that there can be good people within these corrupt organizations. Very much so. But I need you niggas to do more than knock ladies out the way when this song come on. I'm gonna need more than that. Because these Omegas don't do shit for niggas. But as soon as this shit come on, them niggas get out the way. You want to see Omega get active? Turn this shit on. That's all the motherfuckers is good for these days.
Yeah, this is a story of funky dogs, nasty dogs.
Looking like a bunch of goddamn kids. Niggas be in their late 60s on a cane. I was at a party one day. Nigga, I was at a party one day. And we was all everybody chilling, drinking whatever they drinking, chewing the fat, sitting back. Music was playing. Then this shit came on. This nigga was on a cane. He walked in on a cane. He sat down, and when he sat down, it was one of them old niggas sit down. He was one of these sit downs. He was. I saw this old nigga sit down. He was in linen suits and mandals with a Bluetooth in his ear and a gray goatee. This nigga was sitting back. Then this shit came on. That nigga jumped up real fast. I'm like, hold on, nigga. Wasn't you just crippled 5 minutes ago? Damn. Y'all know I ain't lying. Y'all know I ain't lying. Yeah, I ain't lying. Q's, y'all gotta check y'all people, man, running these radios. So y'all was bragging. Rickey Smiley about a year ago was bragging, we the Q's, we run radio. Well, what the fuck are y'all giving us as a people? We supposed to pat you on the back because you a Q and you got a job? We got to speak up for ourselves because if we let these niggas run wild, they're going to run wild on us. These people, if we don't speak up and give a counter narrative, they're going to run all over us. Our biggest problems aren't just tied to tethers. Our biggest problem isn't just tied to what white people are doing to us. Oftentimes, some of our biggest problems are homegrown Negroes that will say whatever they're told to say in order for them to make money another day. And they say destructive things. They don't take time to educate themselves, and they mislead us in the areas we need the most leadership. That's the problem. Meritorious manumission. That's right, just because. Meritorious manumission. And maybe that's why they don't bring Dr. Claude Anderson on to their little shows. Because Dr. Claude Anderson talked about how if you want to maintain your freedom as a Negro, the meritorious manumission is one of the ways. And one of those ways is to mislead black people. We got a whole bunch of homegrowns that's in our face every motherfucking day. And instead of doing anything to help us, these niggas is dancing. He's talking about people flipping fans. Well, what about you niggas when it's time to do something? Well, I'll tell you what's going on at the goddamn Radio 1 BET Christmas party when it comes to their next training. This how the training goes at the Black Negro radio stations. Hey, I have a question. They said that the Democrat Party is planning on doing all this stuff for immigrants, but the numbers say that immigration negatively affects black jobs. This is what they say in response. Well, the numbers are skewed and everything. No, we're going to continue with the immigrants, and we need to continue the immigration because black people, we've gotten where we've gotten. And, we got to make sure that we push this agenda because the Democrats told us to. And then when we're done pushing the agenda, we're going to have a good time. What you say, everybody? Let's go. Yeah! That's how they parties go. That's how they parties go. I bet you. I will bet you, God damn it, a house, 4 houses in a hotel on Park Place in a game of Monopoly. That's how the goddamn parties go. I don't talk about that. Now we'll talk about other things. All right. I'm about to get up out of here. I appreciate y'all for listening. My music history course is still on. We've only done the first week. We still got 4 more classes to go. You're not late. If you want to sign up right now. Get the music history course for your teens, for your youth. And they'll get this past Sunday's class, and then they'll be ready for the next 4. Every Sunday for the next 4 weeks, all right? Thank y'all again for listening. Remember, there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. We out.